Hello, it's Crafty Carol here from craftycarolscards.co.uk, and I'm here with another little project for you. Last time I made an Easter card, and what's nicer than to give a little box of Easter eggs with the card. So this is my box. This one, I've made slight mistakes with two of these. This one I managed to stick that on the wrong way round, so the box opens that way. I can always take it off and change it. But this is a box that'll just fit 10 of, let's tuck that away. This one, I finished the box wrongly at the ends, so we'll get it right, I hope, with this particular go, third time lucky. These are little Lindt mini eggs, which I've got from Tesco, and it fits 10 beautifully. So what do you need for this box? Well, the first thing is you need a piece of cardstock of your chosen type to match whatever designer series paper you want to use, and that piece needs to be 23.5 centimetres by 11.5 centimetres. And then I'm going to bring the trimmer in. I'll try and get it so that you can see it. There we go. And move the cutting blade right out of the way, and we're just going to use the scoring blade. And on the long side here, we're going to score at 1.5 and 3 centimetres at each end, because it's easier to do it that way. So I'm using the markers to the right of my channel here. So 1.5 and 3. And then I'm going to do exactly the same at the other end. 1.5 and 3. So then we're going to score on the short side across this end, and we're going to score at 2 centimetres. So I'm going to do it again this side. It's a lot easier to keep it still and keep it straight doing it that way. So I'm doing it at 2, then I'm going to turn it round, and I'm going to score at 5, at 7, and at 10. So when you've finished your scoring, you'll have a piece that looks something like this. So hopefully you can roughly see the score lines on there. So now we're going to do some trimming. So we're going to cut it. This piece here is actually going to be the front. Well, it doesn't matter which end's the front, because it's the same. No, it's not. This one's slightly smaller. So you want the slightly smaller bit. This is just 1 centimetre, I think, 1.5. So this is going to be my front flap. I can't say that. And I'm going to, you can either use a corner rounder or just do it by guesswork like me. And when I'm cutting just inside this score line. And then I'm going to take off that corner piece like that. I'm going to do that both sides. Cut down there, take off this corner piece and round the corner. As I say, either use a corner rounder or just do it by eye like me. That's not very good on that one. I can just finish it off. There we go. So that's our front flap, and now we're going to trim all of these side bits, and we're going to do the same thing on each side. So first of all, I'm going to cut down from the end to the second score line in on each of those flaps. So from the end to the second score line on each one, okay. And then on this one, I'm going to take off at the first score line, so I'm just leaving the one score line, and I'm going to make quite a deep wedge. You'll see why that's necessary. Ooh, got it going all over me now, the bits. You'll see why that's necessary when we come to put the box together. This next one we leave. This one here we take off the end again. So I'm just going to bend it up so I can make sure I cut it without cutting into either of the others, and take that bit off. Okay, I'm just going to, that wasn't a very good cut, so I'm going to improve that. There we go. So I'm going to do exactly the same at the other end. So just mirroring what I've just done. So cutting right into the first score line on each of those long ways. There we go. So this first one, to match that end, I take the outer bit off and then do quite a deep wedge. Okay, this one I leave, this one I take off that piece. So when you've done, it should look like that. Let me just get rid of the rubbish. There we go. So it looks like that. So now we can do all the folding and burnishing. So I do like to use a bone folder for this. My bone folder's filthy, but let's not worry too much. So we're going to fold all of these long ones inwards. Hopefully you can see how the box is going to come together now. And this final one. There we go. So that forms the box. And to form the ends, these two bits fold down. These ones fold down and back again. So we're folding those down and back again and fold the ends down. So the single flaps folded inwards, these ones folded inwards, and then the other one folded backwards. Okay, so hopefully that's clear with the folding. Now, before we stick it together, the important thing is to put the DSP on. So for the DSP, you need a piece which is 17 centimetres wide, and you're going to cut 4 strips. So I want the pattern running that way. So we're going to cut 4 strips, and I want the pattern actually running from here backwards. So if we cut the strips carefully, then we want to, there's 2 different widths. They're all 17 long, but we want 2 that are 2.75 centimetres and 2 that are 1.75 centimetres. So if you think about it lying like that, we want to cut the 1.75, then the 2, then the 1, then the 2, and so on. So let me show you, so that might make it a bit easier so you could see. And you want to keep them in line, if you like, while you're cutting them. So I need a narrow one first, which is 1.75, which is just putting the edge of the paper before the 1.8 mark. So that's the first strip I want. Now I keep it in order. So my next one is 2.75. Don't worry too much. You could probably get away with 2.8, to be honest. I don't know why I'm being so exact, but there we go. Then a 1.75 and then a 2.75. That one was not. No, I've just done that wrongly. So I'm going to start again because I want the pattern to run round. So I measured that wrongly while I was talking. So 1.75. See, we always all make mistakes. 2.75. 1.75, don't make the mistake again. Luckily I've got a long strip so I could do this. There we go. So those are my strips in order. So important to keep them in order so you can see how the pattern flows across the strips, because I want it to flow across my box in the same way. Obviously, if you use, say, this paper which doesn't have a pattern on, not nearly so important to worry about how you get the strips. So now we're going to turn those around so you can see how the pattern still runs through them, and now I'm going to stick them onto my box. And as I say, I want the box to look this way, so I need to stick them on in that way. So the first one I'm sticking on this back panel. So I shall turn it over, put some glue on. Oh, this is a new glue. There's quite a lot of glue coming out. It'll be fine. Turn it back again the same way, so I still got the pattern right. And now I can stick it onto my panel on my box. And then we're doing exactly the same with the second one. I shall turn it this way, put the glue on. And I'm using Tombow because I want wriggle room. I want this to look exactly right. Oh, can't pick it up without getting glue all over me. There we go. Turn it back again, make sure it's the right way around. And now I can stick it on that panel too. And that's where I need the Tombow to move it along a bit. There we go. Same with the third one. I'm going to turn it over, put the glue on. Turn it back again. Getting all sticky now. Making sure the pattern's correct. Can you see how now the pattern is running up the box, which is how I want it to be. So my final one, turn it back, and there, hopefully you can see, oop, sticking to me, not the box. That's it. So hopefully you can see how the pattern is just running around the box, which is what I wanted. So now it's a matter of putting the box together, and this is really, really, really simple. This is how the box folds. That's my flap that I tuck in. So the only further bit of gluing is to glue these ends together. This flap needs to stay loose because that's going to tuck in behind the other one, behind that one. We're not going to glue those, but we are going to glue these together. So on one of these panels, one of the outer bits of these double fold panels, I'm just going to put a little bit of Tombow, okay, and then I'm bringing these panels together. This is the only fiddly bit to get them to line up, and you want to hold them for a minute. It's a little bit of tension on that because they're holding the box closed. So we're going to hold it just for a second and allow these to stick together. So can you see how I've done that? So I'm sticking those together like that, just squeezing those ends together, and it holds the end and leaves a hole for me to slide that tab into to close the box. See? So we're going to do the same at this end. A little bit of glue on one of these tabs, and then I'm going to pull them together, line them up so they're in the middle, and then hold them so that they stick together. So it's probably the longest bit of the whole thing, isn't it, holding these together to make sure they stick. Oh my goodness. Right, hopefully that should be done. There we go. So there we have our box with a lid. So we can open up the lid and we can put some nice little, I don't know about putting these in order with the colours. I don't know. How can I mix the colours up? I love Lindt chocolate. Absolutely love it. Perhaps this one had better be mine. Oh dear, there's an egg over. It does fit 10 eggs. I obviously had 11. I'd have to eat that one. What a shame. And then to close the box, you're just going to, see if I can get this in the camera, the end bits slide behind these formed ends that we've just made and on top of the tab that's below, if that makes some sort of sense. And then it just shuts like that. And there you have your box. So I'm just going to decorate it. And on these ones I've used, I'm going to stamp that again, just Easter Blessings. This is from the Daffodil Daydream set. And I need to decide, I've gone with the same colour as the box. Do I go? Oh, I don't know. I've got daffodils on the front. Let me do the stamping and then I think about it. So, love this little Daydream set. I haven't used it really, and I've used it a lot the last week or so. Hopefully you saw the card I made with it. So Easter Blessings, and I'm going to punch this out. Let's just put the ink pad away with the double oval punch. So I'm going to punch at the bottom for the Easter Blessings, and I haven't left myself very much card, so I'm going to have to fiddle with it a little bit to get it straight. I've used a tiny bit of card because I'm so mean with bits of card. There we go. So line it up, punch it out. And now I've got to decide, do I want to put it on yellow, which I possibly do, or do I want to use green to match the box? I think I might use green this time. So with the coloured card, you then want to just punch the scalloped oval from the double oval punch. Love that punch. It's so easy for making super, yeah, still might go yellow. I'll leave it as green. I could be here forever trying to decide. Sometimes when I am trying to match colours, honestly, I can get really tied up with it. So a little bit of glue on the back of there without getting too much on the desk. There we go. So I'm just putting that on top of the oval. And then to put the oval on the box, I am going to use dimensionals. A couple of those just do brilliantly. and we'll have that roughly in the middle. You could add a bit of, if you wanted, you could add some ribbon or something behind there. It might even look even better. I haven't, I've just stuck that on plain, but hopefully, apart from this one, you can see why this is wrong, because I can't now open the box. so to open this box, I'm going to have to destroy an end to get to the eggs inside, but that's okay. I shall give it to somebody, whereas these ones will open so people can get their eggs. And this one, finally, I've made the right way so that people can open it properly and get the eggs out. So those are my simple Easter boxes for these lovely Lindt chocolate eggs. I'm going to go and eat my final one now. Why not? I think I deserve it because that's the last one in the packet. We are going to make this at my class on Thursday. I have got, you'll be glad to know, I have got another pack, so I'm not going to be eating all the eggs. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. You'll find full instructions for this box and for my Easter cards on my website, craftycarolscards.co.uk, in the Craft Along blog, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.